agonizing over the outcome? Not wanting to make a mistake, do you default to reading or memorizing your content instead of working off an outline? Does getting every word or phrase right have a higher priority than connecting with the audience? I observed an insurance executive with a death grip on her prepared text as she read every word. When I took the paper out of her hands, she was forced to connect with the audience because she didn't have a script as a crutch. Now, if you thought this executive was addressing a packed auditorium or conference, you'd be mistaken. She was presenting an overview of her services at a workshop of only 8 colleagues. But still, she thought she needed her security blanket to come across as a seasoned professional. Although young women today can feel more equality and respect than baby boomers, this feeling often changes after they've had a child and are returning to the workforce. Then, like their older counterparts, they feel great pressure to achieve, stay current with their skills, and be the good girl who never makes mistakes. They've accepted that to be successful, they need to work harder and exhibit more professionalism than their male counterparts. The pressure they put on themselves can be paralyzing, but many women don't believe they have options. Striving to be perfect, women study and earn grades that reflect our hard work. We imitate male colleagues and do our best to blend in. An executive from a major toy company asked me how to succeed with her all-male team. The issue was that these men regularly went out after hours for tequila shots. The female executive didn't like tequila or heavy drinking, but still wanted to be accepted. I suggested that she be self-effacing, mock her white wine spritzers, and then offer to be the designated driver. Many times, however, the solution isn't that simple. I've seen hundreds of talented women regularly put in long hours, join professional organizations or committees, and take every opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to career and company. But many of these same women are reluctant to speak out. When public speaking is unavoidable, these women tend to craft presentations that are polite, generic, and middle of the road. They take a non-confrontational position to avoid being challenged. In other words, regardless of all their experience, massive preparation, and agony over what to say, women practically guarantee that their talk will be mediocre and forgettable. But that isn't the end of their pain. Before delivering their presentation, these women find conflicting thoughts vying for their attention and keeping them up at night. Their concerns are, what made me think I could do this? What if someone asks me a question I can't answer? If I take a contrary position, will I be perceived as too aggressive, too ambitious, or not a team player? Although we do our best to deflect negative judgments and assessments from others, the strongest critic often resides within. If your public speaking isn't as effective as it could be, or you haven't achieved what you believe is possible with your career, you can't always blame someone else. What we tell ourselves can be equally damaging. What we believe becomes the truth. So, let's dispel the myths that negatively affect our behavior so we can move on and resume our path to success. Public speaking myths. Myth number 1, you're born a great public speaker. Did you master law, accounting, interior decorating, banking, or fitness training overnight? Of course not. The entry fee in any field requires education, certification, and often a degree. Why do we think that being proficient at public speaking or communication is something we're born with? Or that the first time we stand up in front of an audience or a potential client, we will receive rave reviews? Please. Becoming a great presenter takes commitment, introspection, inviting critical feedback, making mistakes, and incorporating lessons learned. This is why I won't let a client complete an exercise if she begins with a traditional opening or reports on her topic from a 1,000-foot level, instead of investing herself in the subject and making it her own. As a former director, I know to nip a bad performance in the bud. The last thing you want is for a client to embrace an outdated mode of approaching her material and have that scored into memory. At the same time, I need to be positive and encouraging because I'm asking the speaker as performer to move outside her comfort zone. I'm